tell us a little bit about the company itself, the production company, Victory Fighting. I think we talked a little bit about it, Gary, and you said it's a pretty big event.
Oh, absolutely. It's nice to have a company like Victory that really has the fighters' best interest in mind. They're always they've been really good to me. Ryan's been really easy to work with and everything. So
that's awesome, man. Have you guys ever been involved in a big production in Kansas, at least?
I was the main event on Victory's last show. I've known Ryan for I don't know, 3 or 4 years, so I've kind of been in the area. I've helped him with the show before, matching and stuff, because he's done a couple smaller shows in Junction City.
All right, I like it. And I mean, how did you guys get involved with MMA? I mean, what was the process that led you where you guys are now? You want to start with that, Gary?
Honestly, it's just kind of a weird story. I just had gotten back from a deployment from Iraq in 2010, and I just walked into a gas station. There was some guy in there that was selling tickets to a fight he had coming up, and I ended up going to it, and I trained with him for a little while, and then ended up switching gyms, and then I'm with Heston's Gladiator Academy now. That's here in Topeka, and it's pretty much where I am now. So
that's awesome, man. And Daniel, how about you, man?
I wrestled in high school. I also got in a lot of trouble and partied a lot. I actually met Gary's coach Scott in high school, as well as Travis Pippen and a couple other guys. At the time, Travis was really good. He went to a draw with Ginge Pulver, who was UFC champ. I believe Travis was the first person to ever actually tap me out after I found out like what mixed martial arts was when I was in high school still, and he's a 135er. He was a little guy. But I mean, I met Scott, and then I worked on the road for a long time. And when I got a job off of the road, I came back, to Topeka to live and stay. When I found out I was going to be a dad, I started going to the gym a lot. And in the gym, I was in the same gym as Scott. And Scott was, I'm teaching this, you should come check it out. So I did, and then I started doing decent against guys that were competing or looking to compete. And I decided to take a fight. I won, and it kind of snowballed from there.
So, guys, I assume know your opponents tonight. What do you prepare for? I mean, do you study your opponents? I mean, what goes into all that?
I tend to watch some of their fights. Most of the guys around here I know, so I've seen them fight before. But as far as their styles and stuff, I have a game plan and everything. But when it comes to their records and everything, my wife and I disagree a little bit about that. She always likes to know their records and all this stuff about them, and I'd just rather not know.
Daniel, give us some insight in your preparation. What do you get ready for on a big day?
Man, I've been climbing the mountain for a little while. I haven't lost in a couple of years. I've done boxing as well and been pretty successful with that. My opponent and I have been around the same area. We're both heavyweights. He's from Kansas City, and I kind of grew up in this area of Topeka. So we've seen each other fight. It's not like we went there to see each other fight. We've always gotten along really well. We've never actually trained together. I mean, this fight was kind of a long time coming because we were both successful heavyweights in the same area. So, I mean, it was going to happen at some point. I think we both knew it. Excuse me. I haven't watched a lot of film on him. I haven't studied him. I mean, I just kind of knew his record, and I've seen him fight before. So it wasn't like I had to do a bunch of homework or anything. But I actually trained in Colorado for this fight at a higher elevation. My guy is a world champ, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He's a black belt now. He was a world champ at the brown belt level, but still, I mean,
wow,
excellent resume to be a world champion from Kansas or even Missouri or anything, and you're going against Brazilian guys and everything else at Worlds. So my main training partner was Curtis Blades. He's in the UFC. He's a JUCO national champ wrestler. So the way I see it is his jiu-jitsu won't come into factor a whole lot if he can't get me on my back.
So aside from just your guys' general success in the sport, I mean, what keeps you coming back? What keeps you involved in MMA?
It's, in my opinion, it's the purest sport there is. Like I played football, I wrestled, I did other sports, track and field and stuff. But I mean, when push comes to shove, the gloves come off, and it's MMA. I mean, even growing up as a kid, like we would fight. It was boys being boys. You wouldn't bite, you wouldn't eye gouge, you wouldn't kick each other in the genitals. That was just like the gentleman's set of rules. Like you just didn't do that, and now we get paid to do just that. Like it's the same set of rules, only it's actually written down this time instead of